You can do so much with wood. We can't overstate its importance.
Yeah, so large wood is a really important aspect and component in a healthy stream system. It serves a variety of functions to a river system. You know, the most glaring obvious benefit of wood in a stream is to create and provide habitat for fish and other aquatic organisms.
Wood is so important. Directly to fish, I would say the number one process that wood provides to fish is evasion of predators. Both juveniles in your margins where there's lots of small little branches and things, they can get up there and hide from larger fish. Adult spawning fish that are out in the middle of the river that may have a large tree near them can dart under the tree if an avian predator were to come over.
But what does wood do in a stream channel? It does a variety of things. From a physical standpoint, it helps in the formation of pools. It helps maintain gradient. It creates turbulence, which dissipates energy on a more even fashion. From a biological standpoint, it provides substrate for algae, aquatic insects, which then, translates into fish food.
One of the things that I find really fascinating is that it provides roughness to the channel. So if you think about water as a unit flowing down the river here, it bumps into this roughness, which causes it to slow down, causes it to have access to its floodplain.
The stream ecologists like to walk up to streams that rattle or make noise, as we call it. And that noise is typically driven by large woody debris or wood in the stream channel.
Yeah, so small to medium streams or headwater streams really derive most of their nutrients from these forested areas that surround them, these headwater forests. In the fall and autumn, when the trees are shedding their leaves, they enter into our stream and really form the basal resource, the basal nutrient resource for aquatic organisms to take up. From there, you have pretty much the flow of energy through, the trophic food web, where insects start to colonize these leaf packs that occur and accumulate into streams. They process those shed leaves, they eat them, and through them, fish come and eat the insects, and so on through the trophic food web there. And so it really is derived from leaf litter, as well as primary production that occurs in these smaller tributaries.
Well, much to the chagrin of many anglers, I think that I have to be honest and say that the number one substrate in northern Michigan streams is sand.
Probably the most common substrate in our streams in Michigan is sand, finer sized sand, and this is a function of our surrounding watersheds and the geologic makeup of the watershed that surrounds our streams and rivers.
But it's a double-edged sword, because as much as sand can cause a problem, it's the presence of the sand in the watershed that enables us to have the cold water. So it can wreak havoc if there's too much sand in the river, but without these mountains of sand, we wouldn't have the cold water to support trout.
So aquatic insects more or less do not do well in sand. Some of them are adapted for finer sediments and to reside in those types of habitat and those sediment makeups. But overall, a diversity in sediment sizes really contribute to a good diverse aquatic insect community in a stream system.
So we've established that sand is not a good habitat for aquatic insects. We know that gravel is a very good habitat for aquatic insects. In the absence of gravel and in the prevalence of sand, wood can suffice as the substrate for aquatic insects where they would attach, where they would feed. Just simply the surface area of all the little branches grows algae that then you have the periphyton that eat the algae that then feed the fish. So wood is a huge stand-in, and it is a magnificent way to increase surface area available to aquatic insects. If none of the wood was in this river right here, we would have the gravel across the bottom and no other surface area available to insects. So by adding wood, you add exponential increases of surface area.
We try to restore rivers and add wood into our rivers to help increase the abundance of habitat through large wood additions. And as you do this and as you increase your wood load in a stream, it helps to pretty much form a platform for primary production to grow on these wood pieces, for fish and insects to colonize these wooded areas, and ultimately just contribute to the aquatic communities that exist in the stream. They help break up water flow and provide hydraulic diversity in the stream, kind of changing up flow patterns and varying water velocities over the cross-sectional area of a stream.
From a channel morphometry standpoint, it creates diversity, and all streams have typically sequencing of riffles and pools with some runs in between. And when you add wood, that diversity in terms of channel morphometry increases. That translates into additional habitat again for trout. So there are both physical and biological reasons, that for putting wood in channels and for maintaining wood that's in channels.
I would say it's not only providing large logs as overhead cover. It's not only providing brush along the sides for juveniles. It's a mixture of all of that. So you need big pieces of wood that will take a long time to be transported out to form nuances in the stream bottom. That's your deep water. That's your little gravel pockets, your pocket pools that people say. You need brush to fuel the food chain and to provide nursery habitat, but the brush breaks down a lot faster than that really big tree. So you really need to have punctuated examples of wood in every form.
From a stream ecologist standpoint, looking at streams for the most part today, they all need more wood. Again, I go back to the fact that 200 years ago, 30% of the surface area in the average channel would be wood. We're nowhere near 30% in the best case scenario. So, but what does wood do in a stream channel? It does a variety of things.